Hey, what's going on, Rockets fans? I am Randy, and we are back here for week number 8 of GBA Season 9. I am your coach with the Houston Team Rockets, and we already are at week number 8. We have 2 weeks after this left to go, and then we move to playoffs. The season's been flying by, man, and I'm kind of happy for it because I have summer school next week, and I'm trying to get done with these leagues so I can, focus up on that one class. But it should be all good. I'll be able to stream and all that, and hopefully post some Wi-Fi games. I've been hoping to post some Wi-Fi games before I lose my GBA juice, but hopefully you guys stick around for those games. They're pretty interesting. I do live stream on Twitch pretty often, so if you want to follow me on Twitch and catch me doing Viewer Battles and Ultra Sun and Moon, or even Showdown if you want, feel free to drop a follow on my Twitch. Trying to get some, make some moves on Twitch. My ultimate goal with Twitch is by the time Sword and Shield comes out, I want to provide a casual battling community on Twitch for battlers, new and old, people who have anywhere from their first Pokemon game to returning fans who haven't played since like the Game Boy games. Smogon tryhards, sweats, man. I want to come battle on the new games on Sword and Shield. That's my goal. I want to have a nice community for everyone just to battle, and if people are looking for games, they want to come to my stream, good place to go. People battle and chat and all that. So that's my goal. That's what I envision on Twitch, and honestly, I think the only thing that's going to stop me is myself. So I'm definitely going to try to make the grind on there and see what happens. But enough with the channel talk. I'm going to post the standings real quick. So if you guys have not seen the battles up until week number 8, so if you've not seen week 7 games, do not stay on the video. Make sure you click out and go watch some of the battles you want to watch, including my own. Last week, if you didn't catch it, we had a very, very close game against Kyle A. Very, very entertaining match, and Kyle's a great person, so it was always fun to create good content with a good pal. So if you didn't catch that battle, you definitely should. The Porygon set legitimately turned the game around, and yeah. So one more thing before I jump into the standings, you will notice that we have a new Pokemon up at the top. We finally dropped our stupid Lycanroc Day and opted to pick up Zygarde 10%, Zydoge, and moved our Z Crystal over from that slot to Metagross. And I think there's a reason why I did this. Like, for one, there wasn't a ton available in Tier 4 that I could have grabbed, because I actually had 40 leftover points. So I actually could have afforded a Tier 4 as opposed to a Tier 5. And I felt Zydoge was fine because it actually forces some sort of prep at the very least. And whereas Lycanroc, I feel like didn't force anything on my opponents. I mean, it probably did, but like, I haven't brought Lycanroc, and Zydoge I know for a fact will have some sort of matchup this week or next week or the week after or even playoffs. I'm not too sure. I just wanted to bring an extra ground type because currently my ground type was Hippo, and I noticed a lot of my opponents struggle with like ground types in general, which is pretty weird because I feel like people would prep for it a lot. But I feel like in my matchups it's been doing pretty dang good, Hippo. So having an offensive one would be very, very nice. And double dragons I don't really fear double dragons. I mean, ice, it's not really like a big attack to be afraid of. Like Latias, like if it's not stab, like ice beams don't even, like, they just bounce off Latias, so I'm not really afraid of that. But yeah, I mean, I made the move. Z Metagross seems really interesting because knockoff would be weakened, and firing off like a Z Steel or a Z Psychic is just like really good. And not to mention that it gets pretty good coverage in like the elemental punches and Earthquake and all that. So I can definitely have some options with offensive Metagross with the Z Crystal. So that will be the final roster for the Rockets moving on to the rest of the season. I did mean to, so I actually gen a team already, right? I'm not gonna regen it, but I accidentally named my Zygarde Rocket. I meant to name it Clutch the Bear, but for some reason I don't know. I thought for some reason Rocket was the name of the mascot, but I forgot it's Clutch the Bear. That's my bad. So Latias will become Space City, and Zydoge will become Clutch the Bear. So that will be effective moving week 9. But that should be all the talk I meant to have for my stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into our opponent, NECROSTEVO, coach of the Victorian Shadows. Very cool guy, man. I love the way his battles are, the way he plays his game, the whole thing, man. I respect him a lot because he actually breeds his Pokemon. He doesn't gen, and I really, really respect that. Hence why he drafted a round 3 Tentacruel, because he probably already had one ready and whatnot. But got a lot of respect for the man. He does his own thing, and he gets his battles up on time, and he provides pretty good sets. Like, he actually has some pretty close matches. His record doesn't show for it, but he's been doing pretty decently well in the league. So definitely not an easy task by hand. by far. However, I feel like this matchup is a little bit in my favor. Like he has threats, but I feel like I have a pretty good matchup here, and I didn't stress out with this build too much because I'm about to show the standings here. So if you haven't seen week 7, be sure to click out. But these are the standings effective for week 7. So going into week 8, as you can see, my opponent Necro's at 2-5. So him and Nexus, I think if they lose, they'd be out of playoffs, I think. And then of course, like in that division, the melee or melee, I don't know how to say the name. It's a 2-man race. I think both of them are pretty safe to make playoffs, but they probably aren't because Danza is catching up over on our side. He's 3-4, and there are 10 weeks in the season, so he could finish 6-4, and maybe Joel or Aster or even Cybertron can fall off. And if they fall off and Danza catches up, then he can definitely catch him. Like it's not over yet. Like he can definitely catch up because they're only taking top 4 in the conference. So no matter what division it comes from, so it can literally be 3 from the one division. But the division winner's guaranteed, so that's why it can't be 4 from one division. So right now it's looking like we're pretty good. I think if we were to win today, we're locked in. I think no matter what happens, I'm not too sure about that. I'm actually, doing the math, I probably am. But anyways, these are the standings. We can probably take it easy a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll be doing team builders for Aster next week because he might be a potential round 1 opponent. So I'm not sure if I'll do a builder, but those are the standings. Let's go ahead and finally jump into the actual team builder. I'm going to try to make this quick so you guys can get out of here. And I'm already at 6 minutes, so hopefully I can keep it under 15. I just need a quick swig of water real quick. Alright, so leading the way we have Yveltal, Foul Play, Oblivion Wing, Roost, Defog. More of a bulkier set because Oblivion Wing with Skyplate 2-hit KOs his entire roster except Tentacruel. And Barbarical, but Foul Play smacks that around too. So I just felt having a very bulky set with Defog, because Defog would be nice to help with those webs on Slurpuff as well as like Hazard Stack with Fortress. I just felt this was a great set. Dark Stab wasn't needed here. Foul Play is actually really neat for the likes of Landorus, Charizard, like stuff Dolan to set up. And you're probably thinking, well, you're slower than Charizard. Why are you even worried? Well, you'll see later on that I might have a way to underspeed him, or outspeed him, I should say, or whatever the case could be. I am outpacing a Jolly Max Speed Landorus, and then I have the rest dumped in HP. And then left over, I have it left in physical defense. I'm not sure if this EV spread is optimized. I'm pretty sure it is because you can't hit that speed tier. But whatever. Next Pokemon we have is the Megalodios making her return after a little bit of a hiatus. We have a just pure offensive Calm Mind Roost Dual Stab. This pretty much hits its entire roster for neutral or super effective damage, except the Fortress. But +1 Dragon Pulse if he's running like a Fizdef. Fortress will 2-hit KO. I'm pretty sure if he's Spadef after Stealth Rock, it might 2-hit KO anyways. But this set's just awesome. Like, his Psychic Switch-ins happens to be weak to Dark, which is his Hydreigon. Weak to Dragon, I should say. So, overall, this is a really good set. I didn't want to make it very bulky because I just wanted the most offense, to be able to smack, maybe like a bulkier Landorus or a bulkier Xerneas with Psyshock. I just wanted the most the most power I could possibly have. If I'm able to get up Calm Minds, I'm able to get them up. But ultimately, I think Latias will act more as a kind of a cleaner as opposed to a setup sweeper in this game, and because it hasn't done much in the season, man. Like it's been doing pretty bad, but it's been fun to build with nonetheless. And hopefully, one of these games, it might be this one, you can finally have a breakout game. Hopefully, so. Next up, we have the Metagross, our Assault Vest Metagross, and this is our 100% all the time switch into Xerneas. This is not even 4-hit KO'd with Specs Moonblast, and the rest is just dumped into the attack. And I believe the Bullet Punch will 2-hit KO at max HP Slurpuff, which is what we needed there. And then, of course, the Meteor Mash Gen Headbutt's pretty self-explanatory, hits his entire roster. HP Fire allows us to hit the Fortress for a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And the Brave Nature allows us to do that. That way we're not hindering our special attack too much. I know it seems kind of bad because Hidden Power Fire is literally only there for Fortress. But there's really no other move I would probably want besides maybe Ice Punch or Earthquake. But with our Clear Body, Intimidate Landorus kind of isn't really a switch in anyway. And Zen Headbutt's doing enough to Charizard to where I'm not too afraid. However, if you were to bring up more of a fat Zard, it probably could be an issue, but I believe we have ways to check that anyway. So next up, we have our Hippowdon. I've been loving using Hippowdon this season. It's been doing the work and taking hits, and in some cases, dodging attacks against Jolt. So it's been a lot of fun using Hippowdon. I didn't imagine it to be this fun, but rocking out with Sandforce, that way our Latias doesn't get chipped down, along with our other mons. Don't really need Sand Chip against him either way in this game. And then, of course, Stealth Rocks is getting up the rocks there. And then this defense investment allows for a +2, I think, Adamant Flare Blitz to not kill. I believe it also allows for a +6 Slurpuff to not kill as well. And then the rest is dumped into Spadef to take hits a little bit better from Hydreigon, as well as Xerneas a little bit. I mean, if it's Specs, I get killed anyway, but I mean, it takes hits a little bit better. There's no need to dump it to attack either, because we don't need the offensive investment. Whirlwind is there to phase out, SD Landorus, DD Zard, Bella Jump Puff, whatever it wants to be set up. He has a lot of setup options, so I just wanted to bring Whirlwind in case. Toxic probably made sense too, but I think Whirlwind is a little bit safer in case I let something get set up and I, am in position to lose. Next up, we have the Porygon 2, running more of a standard set than last week, running our Spadef variant here. This is dedicated Hydreigon switch in. Foul Play, Ice Beam hits pretty much everything I needed to. Foul Play is really, really cool to smack Zard, because if you want to DD on my Porygon, I can just pretty much OHKO with Analytic. Helps out with Landorus as well. I mean, I have Ice Beam for that, but Foul Play also helps with the Slurpuff and the Barbarical. But everything else, I mean, Ice Beam can just do a decent damage with Analytic. And then Trick Room kind of was just a filler move. I had, some options. I almost ran Frustration to break subs on Xerneas, but if he ran Fizz Def, it would not break subs. And I felt Trick Room was cool because I'm bringing a Brave Metagross. And Metagross under Trick Room is kind of a threat against his team. So that could be a really, really cool way to start, breaking down some stuff. Even though I'm not running like all the most offensive investment, it does do a lot of damage because it smacks his entire team. And anything that's slower, like a Hippowdon, can probably take advantage as well. If maybe he has like a Tentacruel left, Charizard, Slurpuff, stuff that are like prone to Earthquake, no matter how weak it is. So I felt Trick Room was pretty neat. I know Analytic seems kind of weird with Trick Room. Like if I get up Trick Room, the Analytic pretty much is a waste. But I mean, obviously I'm not going to be in under Trick Room the whole game. It's just going to be there to hit stuff after the fact in case I needed to be done that way. So our final mon is our Zydoge, the Zygarde 10%, making his debut already in his first week being available. We have Choice Scarf, 1000 Arrows, Outrage, Iron Tail, Extreme Speed. This hits pretty much everything because 1000 Arrows is a stupid move. Outrage is there to revenge Charizard if needed, if it's not in range, as well as Hydreigon as well. Iron Tail for the Slurpuff / Xerneas, and then of course the Extreme Speed is to pick off maybe, I forgot why I had Extreme Speed. I don't think there's any other move to run, that's probably why. But this allows me to outspeed +1 Zard. It outspeeds Unburdened Slurpuff. Oh, Extreme Speed for Slurpuff, that's right. It outspeeds the +2 Barbarical. Extreme Speed allows me to revenge the Slurpuff. And depending on how much speed he wants to run on Slurpuff, I think we can actually outspeed it if he were to run like max HP Unburdened. But I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, I mean, this is spammable against him. Obviously, it's not going to be a very good breaker when he's got stuff like Fortress and a Fizz Def Landorus, potentially. But it could be a cleaner. I could very well see it being a nice cleaner. And it's a security blanket for +1 Zard and, I guess Shell Smash Slurpuff if I'm able to chip it down and get it in range of Extreme Speed. So it's going to be fun to use Zydoge, but this is the team for week number 8 against NECROSTEVO. I hope to see y'all tomorrow for the game. I'll see y'all then. Go Rockets.